Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So here we are going to be doing challenge lab 10. We're automating infrastructure deployment using CloudFormation. So first of all, just a reminder, I am a guide, not a guru. So to start, what we want to do here is that we're going to be having hands-on experience using CloudFormation, then using Git to invoke AWS CodePipeline to create and update stacks from templates. These templates have already been stored in AWS CodeCommit, and we're also going to be duplicating the network and application resources to another AWS region very easily without doing them manually, because we would have had them in our CloudFormation templates. So let's get started. I've started my lab. At the beginning of this lab, we already have a Cloud9 instance. And then we have these other things provisioned, a CloudFormation template. We have the code commits repository for this template. We've got the network and application pipelines, as well as the roles that are for these pipelines. So the very first thing we want to do here is want to create a static website for our cafe by using the AWS CloudFormation. So yeah, we're going to create our CloudFormation templates from scratch, which is quite awesome. The last time we had the CloudFormation templates already built for us. So we're going to do this now by ourselves. So welcome to Cloud9 and want to open this our instance. So open this in Cloud9. And okay, so wait for this to open. Then show again, and then okay, it doesn't matter because for this lab, I'm opening this just once. I like so much stuff. So I want to create a new file. I want to save it as s3.yml. So come to new file, excuse me, and I'm going to save Control S saves anyway. So now it is very important that you do capital S3 S, because the codes that we're going to be running are going to be using capital S, and these things are very, very case sensitive. So please put that in mind. This says capital S, use capital S. So I'm going to save that. And now I am in my s3.yml file. So it says at the top of the file, add the following lines. So we'll do this to let us know what we are doing. So here, I'm sure we're going to be adding a description. Yes, so now this one does not really matter too much. So cafe SD template, you could put anything you like there actually. Please don't mind my autocomplete starts showing. So let's go back, and then we're going to add the following lines to define what we are doing. So saying first line says, okay, this is a resource. What's the resource? It's an S3 bucket, and then that's the type. So this is just basic YAML structure. I'm not even how do I call that? It's English as fluent anyway. But whatever, let's continue. So make sure that yes, when it comes to what's it called? The YAML file, your indentation is very, very important. Something as simple as missing an indentation could scatter the whole of your codes, and it's not going to run appropriately when you eventually need to run it. Learning indentation and all of these things, God, you have to calm down and learn it. So it's not something that you just pick up now. So let's continue. So we have added a description. And then, yes, here it says, be sure that you have a space after the colon before you write the description. Very important. All of these things are important too. Now, we're going to save this. I'll just do Control S, and it says, the guided lab, something. Yes, we created our CloudFormation stack in the console the previous time. So that's for the guided lab. This time around, we are going to be creating using the command line interface, that's the CLI. So in the bash terminal, I want to do this. Here it says AWS configure guest region. Here I want to get what region we are working in, and then we are going to create the stack with the second line. So press the button something. So runs just the first line and the second line. I'm coming close. So let me raise this up a bit. So the first line ran, and we can see we are working in US East1. So if you do not change that, this stack and the bucket is going to be created in US East1. So I'm going to click enter so that it runs the second one. Now I can see the stack ID. So our stack has been created. Now it's saying something here that you could change the AWS region by running AWS configure. So here you can run AWS configure to configure your credentials. Let's say you want to, if I were to run AWS configure now, unfortunately, if I start my management console, is still going to log into this, and I didn't prepare for that. But ideally, when you run AWS configure, you're going to be able to put in your access key ID, secret access key, put in your region, the default region that you want to work in. You get, so here we're not going to be doing that. We'll just use the US East one as is. Can just try something like that in your own account so that you understand what AWS configure does. But I've just given you a summary. So if I put in the credentials, then it means that okay, this is the person that is working here with that credential. So that's it. Now, if the create stack command runs successfully, you should see something. This is what you're going to see. This JSON here, this JSON output. So it's going to be showing the stack ID. And so this is what we just did now. With this one, we created this templates, the CloudFormation templates, and with this, we're able to create a stack. And this stack only has the S3 buckets at the moment. So it says in the console, navigate to this, we'll go to CloudFormation, sorry. So let me duplicate this. We're going to be navigating to so many places. I don't want us going back and forth. So I want to go to CloudFormation. CloudFormation. I want to see that this stack has been created. What's the name of this stack again? Create bucket stack. So we can see and it's complete. So if I click on this now, what are the things that we want to check? Open. So it says we could look at events, resources, outputs, template, Remember, if you check the event, you're going to see the the ongoing events at some point and when they completed, when they initiated, and all of those things like that. So the resources that were created by this stack can see just one S3 bucket. Excuse me. It's an S3 bucket, and then you see everything about it. And let's check the output. I think, yes, there's currently no output because we did not define outputs. By now, you should understand what the outputs are. So, for example, this S3 bucket that we have created has an ID. If we specify the outputs, we're going to be able to reference the outputs later on if we need the S3 buckets in creating some other things. So that is it. Now, we could also go to the S3 service page to see the buckets that has been created. We'd not do that just yet anyways. We know since it already says that this has been created, we definitely find it in S3. So that is it. You could go there to check yourself. So now let's check the multiple questions. So multiple choice question. What kind of English was that? So open this. The first question, I'm sorry, let me this out. Was an S3 bucket created? Okay. We have to go and open the S3 console because we're going to need an information from there to answer I think a question here. So was an S3 bucket created even if you did not specify a name? If so, what name was it given? So let us check our buckets. This is the bucket. So this is it here. This is the bucket here. And so first it was created. Now what name was it given? It was given a name in the format logical ID of the resource in the template. Nope. It has the stack name first. The stack name is create bucket. So we know that it is not this one. So it is this. So it was given a name in the format stack name, logical ID, which is S3 bucket, and then some random letters and numbers. So submit that. I think I'm supposed to answer questions 1 to 3 at this point. Yes, questions 1 to 3. So let's see. Again, this nonsense architecture. I have to go back. What region was the bucket created in, and why was it created in the region? We know it was definitely created in US East 1 because we checked that we wanted to create the bucket. So it was created in US East 1. Okay. This is it. It was created in the US East 1 region because that is always the no, that's not correct. Oh, sorry. So because I say yes East 1 first, it was created in the AWS region in which the CloudFormation create stack command was run. Yes. So it was created in US East 1, not because it is always the default region unless you specify a different region, because that's where we ran the stack command. So we'll submit and then we'll go back. Then number 3, to define an S3 bucket, how many lines of code did you need to enter in the resources section of the template? So we'll come back to our Cloud9 and then this is resources. So we can see we had just 2 lines, 1, 2, S3 buckets, type S3 buckets, so 2 lines, and then we submit. So now we can go back to continue working. Now I want to configure this bucket as a website, and then we'll update the stack. So of course, if you're making any addition or subtraction or subtraction from this stack, you are going to be updating the stack for whatever changes you have made to take place. So now, this is yes, so it is similar to that thing we manually did. Remember, we did this in the console when we did which of the labs. So we had to configure this manually. We went to the console, did enable website hosting, blah, 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 and all of those. So here, we want to set bucket ownership controls and public access, and then upload the static website. So what we want to do is we want to run these codes. So this first one is going to download the static website file up to this place. That's what to do. Then this one will change to, it says cd, that's change directory, to static. So it means we are going to be having a directory called static at the moment we run this, and this is going to change directory to that after running this. So we'll paste this here, and then you can see. So this is static, and then it has changed. Okay, so say cd static will run this, so it changes direction to static. Now I want to set ownership controls on the bucket. So excuse me. Here we have something, and we are going to be having to change this one that says bucket name. We change it to the original name of the bucket. So we have to come to S3 here and grab the bucket name. Oh, sorry, I should do this one first before doing that. So let's copy this up to this point. Control copy, and then paste. I just hope it doesn't run it. So I didn't copy any space after it's good. So now you have to walk back. You cannot, maybe you have known or not, but you cannot use this one to move. You see? So you have to use the arrow key to move forward and backward. So you're going to remove this one that says bucket name. You remove it with that bracket that you've got there, and then you copy the bucket name from here and you paste it. Oh, sorry, my dear. Where is it? All right. So good. I just wanted to be sure that I still have the space here. Please do not make the mistake of deleting that space. So, would run this line now, and then it sets the ownership of the bucket to be like the bucket owner in themselves, bad English. Then we want to set public, want to open what's it called? This one that we normally do. To why is English failing me like this? Sorry. Shoot, sorry. I copied 2 lines. Error. So the want to unblock public access. So that is what we want to do. So here it has run the command accidentally without me changing this value here. So please remember to do that. Now I'm going to just rerun this from here, and then copy, paste, and then so one other thing you could do is that you could copy these commands to your notepad first, and then you edit the bucket name. You could actually run all of the commands at once. So all you have to do is copy everything to, let's say, notepad, you change the bucket name, and then you run everything at once then. But I can't do that here because I'm having to change the bucket name in each case. So I come here, copy the bucket name again, and then paste. And then then I do enter. And so that has been done. And then eventually you want to copy oh god, I have to be careful again. So I want to copy the website files to the bucket. Here, usually we would do that manually, where you copy the files for the website, the images, the CSS, and everything. You copy them manually to the buckets. But here we are doing it with the CLI. So again, you copy the bucket name, and then you paste, and then enter. So you can see it has uploaded all of the images that first he uploaded the CSS and the styles, then the index, the HTML, then the images that we are going to be needing. So that's basically it. It says if this is correct, we see all of these uploads and we have seen everything. That's all. So now in a new browser, open the CloudFormation templates documentation for defining S3 resources. Awesome. So I'm going to open this in a new tab. What do we want to look for there? Good. So we want to attach some policies to this, and then we also want to make a configuration. So for that, we have examples available here. So it says we should scroll down to S3 and choose the S3 bucket resource type. Now, this is an interesting thing. You could start thinking, oh my God, how do I know how to do this? And how do I know how to write all of these things? You really do not need to cram these things. Although if we get to a point where this is S3 buckets. If you get to a point where this has become muscle memory for you because you have done it 1,029 times, then it becomes really easy for you to even just type things by yourself because you have gotten used to seeing them. But as a beginner, you don't have to be too good at that because there are always examples in documentations. You'll find them there. So that is it. So now I've opened the S3 buckets. I'll just come to examples here. So now, what's the first thing we want to do? It says that we should attach a deletion policy that will retain the bucket. So let's come here and see. The following example creates an S3 bucket with a retain deletion policy. Remember, we are using YAML. Please do not accidentally copy JSON. In fact, at the beginning, I think we could filter the view here. Yes, so it shows us just YAML files, YAML examples. So here, let's close this. Where is it? Oh my God. Oh gosh. Okay, this is it. So this is the deletion policy. We'll copy this line. Copy. Now see, it is directly under this, like just study the indentation so that you would replicate it here and then you do not have mistakes. So that's the first one. And then the next one is want to configure the bucket to host a static website with index.html set as the index document. So let's look for that. So I can just do control find here and then search for static. Good. So where is it? So we have the website configuration, index.html. So this is okay. Enter, then tab, then paste. So we're going to move this back a bit. Then 1, 2, I think it's 2 spaces. I'm checking under here. So 2 spaces after type. And then, yes, this is just fine. So what did they say here? Oh, sorry. I'm coming. I think so it has to be properties. So I'm coming. There is something I missed out. I'm going to show you that. Okay, so for website configuration, this is going to be under properties. I'm coming. Let me look for this again. So this is a property. If you look at it very well, the deletion policy was under the resources and then the type basically. But for website configuration, it is under properties, not under types. So we need to put properties on top. So I'm going to say enter, and then so this comes here. Good. And then with properties, we could of course copy that. Oh my God. Sorry, properties, yes. So I think that's all. Now it says that you can do this by adding as few as 4 additional lines of code. So that's why I remember that I missed out writing properties. So you can see we added 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So that is it. Save. I'm going to save this. It's very important. TS something. Out what's that thing again? Output that provides the website URL. So it says consult the examples again. So here would come to, we'll search for output. Output, yes. So this is it, okay? Awesome. So we're going to copy all of this for the output. Notice the indentation. This is on the same line as resources. So you want to ensure that you do that as well. And then we paste. So I think leaving a space here shouldn't hurt. Is it on the same line as resources? Yes, it is. So we are going to know now if we have made a mistake or not. Now I'm going to save. And then to validate this template, to be sure that this template, oh, it is final, we're going to run these 2 lines of code. So first, we're going to do this cd ... to go back to where we are coming from. First, let me clear the space so that we can see well. And then it moves back a directory and then it runs the validation. So you can see that when it runs cd this, it went back to the environment directory, and then now we're going to validate this. Oh, thank God. So it means that everything is fine with this, and you can see it's showing us what's it called? It's showing us what we have. So there is no error. Now I want to update our stack. So something. So let's do this. Remember, I had said it's that the that should save your file with capital S. So you can see that it is referencing the capital S here. If you use a small s, then you'd have to change this to a small s actually. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure that what you saved your file with is what you are referencing in your commands. So we are going to run this and hope that everything is fine. So we can see everything is fine because that's generated this output for us that shows our stack ID. So now let's go to what's it called? Let's go to CloudFormation and confirm that this stack is updating. So would reload this and give you a knock on the head. Sorry. And then you can see that there is an update in progress. So just wait for this to change to update complete. So awesome. We do not have any problem. So just in case your update fails, you have to you could check the events, and then you see to check the status, and you'd see why what's it called, why your update failed. So one of the things you could do is you go back to your CloudFormation template, and then you check and see if there are no errors, because from experience I have now seen that sometimes, as long as your syntax error is fine, there could be some little errors that will be in your templates, but that will not be noted when you run the validation. The validation will return true, but there are still errors with your template. So now we have now said that we want an output to be generated. That was this line. We want to see the S3 website URL. So the S3 bucket website URL. So to confirm that this has worked, we are going to open this. We look at the output. We didn't have any outputs the other time. Now we have, you can see the website URL. So it says something. We should, yes. So we should check if, open in Node tab, we should check if this is going to load. Yes, great. So it is working just fine. I'm going to close that. Now, if this does not have any output, or if the output does not, if you cannot click on it like so, then these are some of the things that you can do to troubleshoot. So kindly go through them for your own benefit, even if you do not have any error. So now let's continue this, please. Now we're going to store these templates in a version control system. And one benefit of having your work in a version control system is that, excuse me, so when you have your codes stored in a version control system, you can always roll back to a previous version in case you have problems with a particular version. And then it also enables you to implement CI/CD, continuous continuous integration and continuous deployment. I forgot what CI/CD meant for 2 seconds. So now I want to clone a CodeCommit repository that contains the AWS CloudFormation template. So cloning a repository means that you're going to bring it from the remote source down to your local machine so that you can edit it there. So once you browse to CodeCommit service on your accounts, this. Normally in the real world, you would create a repo, you would have your codes, your files in it, of course. But for this lab, these ones have been created for us. So we'll go to CodeCommit and fetch what we need from there. So I'm going to leave, I'm going to just duplicate this because I still need the S3, excuse me, the S3 console. So we'll come to CodeCommit here. Again, you can always watch this video on a higher speed, because you will still hear what I'm saying clearly. I'm sure of that, at least on 1.5, if you feel that it will flow for you. I know I'm talking slowly. I don't want to be rushing. So it's good like that. Now let's continue. So come here. We have seen our CF templates repo. So what they say we should do, say CodeCommit is this. So it works in a way that is similar to GitHub. If by now you are not already familiar with GitHub, then you are doing something wrong. You should be familiar with GitHub now, understand how GitHub works, and the GitHub commands, as in the basic commands that are going to be quite helpful. So let's proceed anyways. I'm not here to teach you GitHub. I don't know GitHub very well myself. I'm still a student. Now, we'll choose this one, then choose the templates folder, then this one and that one and that one. So we'll choose this, then the templates folder. This. Notice that it has the cloud. Yes, it has all of this. You can see it even has this one that was used to start the lab, because this our lab environment is actually built with IAC. So you can see the templates that has the resources. Because I read here that it does not have all of the resources anyways, but at least you have an example here. So yeah, it says you should open the startlab.yaml and just look through it and see some of the resources that are using, like the Cloud9 instance and all of that. I'm not going to be doing that here. You do that by yourself. So in the breadcrumbs at the top, something, you don't even need to go here. This is clone URL and then HTTPS. So here you are copying the link to the repo, sure you get. So you're going to be using this one to clone it to your own environment. So we'll come down here and then I'll clear this and we'll run a git command. Oh, sorry. So run git clone, then Control V. So we want to clone this particular repo. And if you look at this place, you'll find the repo being cloned here. So this is it in here. And if I were to expand this, you can see we have all of these 3 templates that we saw just now. We have them in it. So very awesome. Now, we want to enter into that repo. So I'll do CD, the template, this folder that we just cloned, CD. Now, let me show you how you would know that these things are case sensitive, except this one doesn't work like, what's it called? Templates repo, and then I do enter. You can see it says no search file or directory. Meanwhile, you can see I typed everything correctly, right? CF templates repo. I spelled it correctly, but because of the capitalizations that we have there, it's not going to work. So that's why it is very important when they say s3.yaml, you use the capital S, otherwise you're going to run into problems. So we run this command again the right way, CF. If you click tab, what's wrong with this nonsense? I'm sorry. So if you click, if you see I typed just CF, then I clicked tab, the tab button on my keyboard, and it's going to, complete the name for me. So and then enter. Now do git status. I don't know why I'm not just copying and pasting it. So here we can see that we do not have, because you have not made any kind of change yet. So it says there is nothing to commit, your working tree is clean. So now you see it shows that it's okay, that's true. It shows what branch you are using. You are using the main branch, and then it also shows that it is up to date. What you have on your own local machine is up to date with what is in the remote repo. So once you use a CI/CD service, we create the network and application layers of for the cafe. So want to create a new network layer, we say something. Now, what happens is that this architecture has been set up in such a way that once you make a push to the code, what's the English code? To the CodeCommit repository, it is going to trigger a pipeline in the code pipeline that will create an AWS formation, CloudFormation stack, depending on which of the stacks you are pushing anyway. So that's basically it. Now, what we want to do is want to create a new AWS CloudFormation stack that will create a VPC, public subnet, and some other resources that are going to be working with this. So in the navigation pane, expands the this, and that. So let's do that. What they say we should expand this, and then templates directory. Good. So the templates one, we want to duplicate it. So right click and duplicate. Then you open it because it's currently not open. Let me close this one so that I can see. So this is what we have. Then you now click on rename. So rename the duplicate to cafe-network.yaml. So that is it. In the yes, so once you set the description to network layer for the cafe. So remember space and then network layer for the cafe. I think I'm going to have to remove this autocomplete because it's not looking like problem. So what's the next one to do? Observe the details of the, yes, look at the resources. It's going to create a VPC, it's going to create an internet gateway, it's going to connect the VPC to the internet gateway, it's going to create a route table, enable a public route, a public subnet, it's going to tag it, public route table, it's going to associate the public routes to the public subnet to the public route table and all of that. Just normal things that you would ordinarily do one by one. That's the interesting thing with using the CLI and using a CloudFormation template. Look at all of these resources, just define them. And it creates everything once. If we were using the console, we first create this, then create the next one, then do the associations, then create the next thing, and then all of those things. But here we are going to be having them automated and easily done. So now I want to observe the code pipeline details that are configured in our account. So I want to go to code pipeline. I think, okay, this is CodeCommit. Okay, let's make another duplicate. And now we'll go to code pipeline. So we don't have too much things to do. Just want to see the 2 pipelines that have been configured for us. So we have the cafe app pipeline and the network pipeline. Now I say the most recent executions will be failed because there are some files that are referenced, but that we do not, we didn't currently have. God, English. We didn't have them at the point when these executions took place. So that is it. Now it says analyze the source data of something. So open the network pipeline, and then you see the source was successful. The execution of the source pipeline was successful, but for deployment, it failed. What did they say we should look at? Okay, so yes, so we can see that the source action is AWS CodeCommit. Normal is just saying that where how do I explain this in English? the source of this action is the AWS CodeCommit. We are pushing to CodeCommit, and then it's going to trigger the pipeline. So that is it. Now, if we check this place, what did they say we should look for there? Can see the repository name that's the name of the repository it is using, the CF templates repo. Excuse me. So where is it? What else do we have to check? So do this. Okay, we are done. Analyze the deploy stage. Notice that the deploy stage will be performed by using AWS CloudFormation templates. Yes, so this one is using CloudFormation. And then what did they say? So want to check this again. And then we look at the details. Excuse me. So yes, so this is the stack name that we are using, and it's showing that it will either create or update the stack depending on what we are running. And then what else? So you check the rest by yourself, all the best. Now we have the following that will trigger the pipeline. So you can examine the diagram, but the cocoa is that the moment you push the code to code commit, it's going to trigger the code pipeline, and then it's going to run, it's going to execute a deployment. So if you would like to see how that architecture is formed, you could maybe check the AWS documentation, or you could ask my best friend, ChatGPT. So now let's go back to our Cloud9 instance and trigger the creation of the updates cafe network by the set. So yes, we want to check this new sorry, my dear, I didn't mean to do that to you. Stay back. So this new what's it called? The cafe network that we just created, it is not currently in the remote repo. Remember, we created this in our local environment. So we want to put this in the remote repository. So we want to, okay, let's do git status to see what's up. So we can see that these are not currently in, they are currently on track. So they are not in the, first, we have not added them to be tracked, and they have not even been taken to the remote repository. So once we run these commands to add a new file to the repo, then commit it to the repository with a comment. So first we do git add. So it's going to add this to the list of files that will be committed. And then we're going to run this git commit -m, and then we'd have this comment. And then it is going to now commit this. So that's this one now would now be in the what's it called? So I'll do Ctrl+C, copy both lines at once, and then enter. So if I were to run git status again, we'll say that okay, so templates one.yml. Did I accidentally create this twice? Okay, I'm coming, please. Oh, I should have noticed that. So I'm seeing two templates one.yml. Did I make any what's it called here? Oh, sorry. So that is it. Now, this is one of the reasons why you really need to understand what you're working with. The moment I saw this, I was thinking, did I create a new templates one.yml? I didn't. What did I do accidentally? I'm coming on. I see. So I'm coming. Let's do this. And I'm going to show you something that has happened. So we have done two things that we should not have done. Now, here, this is template one.yml. Somehow, and I don't know how, I think, oh, when I made the duplicate, I renamed the original and not the duplicate. So I'm going to rename this, and I'm simply going to remove the extra one that is there. So this is going to go back to what it was. So we have the template one.yml. Now, the second error was that instead of adding the description to the cafe network.yml that we just created, we added it to this one. So I'm going to remove it from here, and I'm going to put it here. So open and then paste. So this is how I figured it out, because when I was doing what's it called? When I saw it here, I think I just didn't pay attention to it. So now this untracked files will show you the files that let me enlarge this. When we ran git status, it showed two files that were untracked. I'm supposed to be seeing just the cafe network.yml because that's the only file that I currently added that is not in the remote repository and only in my local computer. I'll be only on my local computer. So if I'm now seeing two things, then I should know that, okay, this is showing that aside this one, there is also this templates one.1.yml. So this was the duplicate, and this is the one I was supposed to change to cafe network.yml. Now, when I did git, where's that guy? When I did git add, where's it again? I did git add, and I was specific about the name, specific with the name, bad English. So here, I specifically wanted to add just this cafe network.yml. Now, this template slash cafe network.yml is basically the file path. Sure, you understand? And that's how you should have learned to use GitHub by now if you're not understanding these things. So that is it. Now, when I added that and then I did git status, it was good I did git status anyways, or I would not have figured out this error. So when I did git status, I saw that this one is still not tracked. And that was when I now looked at it properly and figured out the error. In case you don't understand this, it's difficult though. I don't know how to help you. So let's continue, please. Okay. I don't know what this last line here is, so it's not me that did it though, I promise. So let's just continue because I tried to take this down. It's not going down. Okay, let's do, I don't want to clear because I want to, I want to make reference to this. So now let's re-add the, I'm going to do that git add command again to add that cafe network.yml. I'm going to do a git status. Good. So now when I did git status, it says that there is nothing to commit, working tree is clean. That's because I already did git was it git commit and then the cafe network.yml, so it has been committed. And since we have already erased we have corrected the error that we had here, it is no longer showing that one. So now we're going to do a git push so that what's it called? So it says that this branch is ahead of the main branch, the one that is in the remote repo by one commit, that commit that we made. That is, it's just like we got this one ready to be pushed to the remote repo. So now we're going to do git push. Oh, sorry. Git ESH push and then enter. So it is going to push this to the remote to the remote repository. So now remember that whenever we make a commit, it is going to trigger the pipeline. So let's go and see that this is working. So where is it? So it hasn't started. We just hold on for it. This is the network pipeline, and that is where we are working on. You see that this one still says 1 hour ago. So we need to wait and say that it happened just now. So I think it even have to refresh. It's going to change by itself. It might take a minute or two for the source page to update. And yes, so we'll wait for this. It will take a little while. Good. So we can say this. And then awesome. Very, very awesome. So this failed. Now let's see why it failed. So we look at this. It says description, null values are not allowed in templates. This. So let's go back to our templates. Basically, it is the template that has a problem. So we'll go back to it now and we'll see what's up with it. So I'll come back to the template here, and I'm suspecting something here. And that thing is that I didn't save this when I was going to do the push. And I have discovered that, interestingly, you've got to do that. So this is the cafe network.yml. I have just added the description again. I'm going to save, and then I'm going to rerun my git commands. So I'll come down here. Where is it? And then I'll just copy all of this. I could decide to change the commit message now, but I'll just leave it like that. So I think yes. And now we'll do git status just to be sure that we have done what we should do appropriately. So yes, awesome. And then we'll do git push. And done. And we go back and look at what we have. So remember, this is still saying 3 minutes ago. So we need to wait for it to be triggered again because we just made a new commit. Okay, I'm just going to pause this. So it did take a little while. I don't know why. I think it shows that it failed faster than it shows that it succeeded. So, but then that was the only thing I had to do. That one that we had to come back here and save, and now succeeded. So just in case it doesn't work, that was one, what's the English? That was one troubleshooting. First thing you should think of is, okay, did I save before making the commits again? So if it indicates that there is any problem with your template, you go back to the template, you edit it, you save, then you run the git commands again as we did. So that is it. You could also just read through these troubleshooting steps. If we encounter any further problem, then we could look at some other troubleshooting steps as we proceed. So now I want to go to the CloudFormation console and okay, I'm sure that it will be there, but let's just go. Where is it? So we can see the updates cafe network was, it's ran and the creation was complete. So now we should check the output tab. Yeah, we currently have no output because we have not put the outputs this in. We have not updated the templates to show outputs. So in the VPC console, observe the resources defined in the cafe network.yml templates were created in the account. So okay, let's quickly do that. I don't know. I just feel too lazy to check everything. I think we're still going to know this one later. I'm very sure of that. So let's duplicate. And now we'll go to VPC. So I'll just check the cafe VPC. But I've seen that one. I'm not checking for any other thing again because I'm tired. So anyways, is it like this is the cafe VPC and then cafe public subnet. Where is it? Yes, awesome. It's there. So want to update the network stack. So what do we want to do now? So that it exports essential information, something. Okay, want to have output. Remember, we said that we need output so that they can be referenced later. You may want to reference outputs, and that's why it's important to have them. In this case, we are going to be referencing anyways. So copy this. Where did they say we should put it? Yes, the cafe network.yml. Where's our cloud9 environment? So this guy, to be sure that you are in the cafe network.yml, look at this. This is just look at the top here. We have S3 open, we have templates one open, we have cafe network open. If you want to know which one you're currently working, you can see this is the white one. If I open this, you can see how it is changing. I'm going to close this one. Would you like to save this file? Something. Don't save. Okay, save, because I'm guessing that was the deletion I made. Let me just open to be sure. Oh, yes, awesome. So don't save it. I mean, save rather. So this is the cafe network.yml. Want to come to the end here. I want to add the output. So I'm going to be leaving a space just so my codes are pretty and easy to read. Do I have this output on the same line as the resources? Because if you don't, you're going to have problems. So should be. It is, so that's fine. You're supposed to even know because that's at the beginning here, and this is at the beginning, but then you cannot be too careful. I don't want to see plenty rollbacks. So I've copied this, save the change, add and commit the code, and then push it to the code commit by using Git. Okay, so we are going to save, and then we are going to run our Git commands again. So let's clear this one so that the space will be neat. Good. Now I'm just going to recall the codes one by one. To do that, just use your up arrow key. So I'm going to do sorry, git add. So it adds this guy, enter. Then git commit. So yes, awesome. Now this is where we are going to be changing the commit message. So the first one we said initial commit to the something templates. This time around, just put a meaningful git commit that shows what you're actually doing. So what did we do here? We added, so I'd say added updated template for outputs and then enter. And then we'll do git push. Okay, let's do git status just to be sure that we are fine because excuse me. Hey God. Oh yes, I remember we changed we said see just ignore this one. The reason why this is continuous solution was because of that mistake we made at first, but we don't even need it, so it's fine. So I'll just do this push. I wanted to push just the one that I need. And then so let's go to the what's the English? The CloudFormation and see that the stack is updated. So I'm going to refresh. Uh-huh. Okay, we didn't have outputs initially, right? So let's check for outputs now. So this has not occurred yet. I'm coming. So we can see that the update is now in progress. Where was I expecting to see outputs before the update is completed? Can you be fast, please? So, okay, while that is going on, let's quickly look at what we did here. We wanted output for the public subnet and also the VPC. So we want to see the ID of the public subnet and the VPC. So those are the two things that we updated for us to see in here. So now the update is complete. Let's look at the outputs. We're going to close this guy and then him coming. So let's open this. So you okay, good. So open this, and now we have the two outputs there. So I had to close that one and reopen. Wanted to stress me. So now we have the output, which means that we have done this correctly. So now let's define an EC2 instance resource and create the application stack. So now we are done with the network stack. We want to create the application stack. I'm coming. Okay, good. I'm just trying to confirm that the record is still ongoing. So now we're going to create a new CloudFormation template, and it is going to be used to create the application stack. So something, 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 something. And of course, we are going to where is it? The new stack deploys a dynamic website for the cafe pipeline, which will create of this. Anyways, let's go to our Cloud9. We'll take it one at a time. So we're going to be using this template. So this time around, we duplicate this. And please remember, it is the duplicate you should rename this time, not the original. So we duplicate this and rename to cafe app YAML. And then we open it. Open. So now we have it open. Are we working in there? Yes, awesome. So description says cafe application, which is fine. So in this cafe app.yml template, let me clear this one. We no longer need it. So now we want to, okay, it says we should analyze the existing template contents. In the parameters area, the latest AMI ID performs a lookup. So what this one is doing in summary is that it is going to get the latest AMI, and that's what it is going to use in creating our resource files. Then the cafe network. So okay, so we're going to be getting the ID of the stack that we create when we run the cafe network.yml. Now, one important reason why it is fine to define these as strings rather than like this string, rather than putting an actual ID, is so that it can always default to the new IDs that we get each time we run. If you just put a particular name there, then it's going to be valid only for that resource that creates them. Okay, why am I trying to explain this large thing in this tiny video? So we have the mappings that maps the region, we have the security group, then we have the outputs area. Just look through this. Now, we want to define a third parameter here so that a user can choose between different instance types when they launch an EC2 instance. So we are going to be using the AWS documentation to help us with that. Remember, I said it earlier that you don't have to memorize these things, honestly. The documentations are going to be there for you. So where are we going to this time? It says we should go to defining a parameter and then copy the YAML parameter here. So this is it. Yes, so we'll copy this one. And what do we want to do with it? We'll paste the parameter into our template. So this is it. We'll come under the parameters, remember. So, and it is a parameter, so you have it under the parameters. And then we'll now edit it. Good. So when you copy, it's going to copy with this one, these parameters. So you remember to delete that so that you don't have two lines showing parameters. It is going to affect how your code runs. So now it doesn't matter. You could put this instance type parameter, something. You could put it here where I put it. Or, when I wanted to put it, I simply moved this latest AMI ID. I moved it down so that I could have it there. But you could also have it in here. You could have it down here, paste. I want this to be on the same line as cafe network and latest AMI ID. So I'm going to go back one indentation and then I'm going to do this. So yes, this is properly aligned. Remember, this is how we copied it. So now I want to make some changes. We want to modify the parameter so that the permitted instance types are T2 micro. We have T2 micro, one T2 small. So T2 small and T3 micro. So change this to T3 micro. Awesome. Now, and then you change the description, enter T2 micro, T2 small, or T3 micro. Default is T2 what? T2 small. Yeah, awesome. So we are done. In a new browser tab, open this and use the information, something. I think we are good. If we have problem, they will now come back since we are being stubborn for now. Now, back in this, create a new EC2 instance resource that has the following characteristics. Awesome. So, oh, keys. Okay. Something tells me that if we don't open this now, we may have problems later. So let's just open and see what do we have in there. Can you imagine? Okay. So I'm coming. Wow, this one actually has what we need for the next one. Can you imagine? And I wanted to be stubborn. Awesome. So now we want to create an instance, and it is going to have all of these specifications. Let me see what we have in here as well. So now we're going to be opening like 1 million tabs. YAML and then examples. Looks like we have the same thing in both places. So okay, we'll come back. We'll come back later and see. So what we want to do, we want to have an EC2 instance. We set the logical ID to cafe instance. So now this one is going to be under resources anyways. So I want to scroll to where we have resources. Okay, in here. And then I'm just going down here. I want to put it directly under because it's just arranges the what's it called? Indentation, I think. So now let's come here and see how we do this. This one is parameter. So well, this one is for defining parameters. I think the one we need is this one. Okay. So I just opened. So once our EC2 instance, now this is the logical ID here. This first line. Let me see. There's a place that shows it. Good. So resources, and after resources, we have logical ID. And remember, this one says we should set the logical ID to cafe instance. And then we're going to have it, okay? No, not you. You. So logical ID and then the properties. So let's come down here. So it means we are going to be copying this logical ID and then this guy. So let's copy these two lines first and have it here. So the indentation is like so. You see, I moved this forward by 2 lines by using the tab button. Tab button, no, tab key. So it says we should change this one to cafe instance. I hope I remember well. So let's check cafe, then instance. Okay. Cafe instance, then the type is AWS EC2 instance. We leave it as so. The next one we want to do is want to include an image ID and then instance types. So let's look for how we reference image ID. Let's come to examples here. Close this so that we can see very well. So I'll just copy image ID here. And this is under, oh, this is going to be under properties. So we are coming down to properties here. Where do we have properties? So we're not using this property because this one is for the cafe security group. So here we do properties and then this, then enter, and then image ID. Image ID. So what are we making the image ID? So we are going to be referencing the latest AMI ID parameter. So let's just look through and see if we're going to see a place where a value, yes, an output was referenced. So I came to the cafe network.yaml and you can see how this was referenced here. So we're going to be doing the same thing. Do where is it? Where is it again? Resources. Okay, good. So we'll also copy that. Because before I don't know how to do that. You could also maybe like just go to ChatGPT and see how to make references if you can't find it in the examples. So with reference, what do we have to reference? The latest AMI ID. So I'll just copy this. Of course, you could copy it from here too. So, okay. So that's it for the image ID. Then the instance type. So how do we reference, how do we set instance type? Okay, this is, no, not you. So let's check this place, this other one. Okay, we are referencing parameters now. So we should have checked here actually. That first link that we opened for referencing parameters. So yes, so instance type. Are you kidding me? Could have just copied the whole of this and used it. So enter instance type. And then I'm going to just use the same way I used up there rather than use this on the next line. I think it would still be fine anyways. So now, what did we put for the instance type? So we'll just reference this instance type parameter like so. Copy and paste. Where is it again now? Okay. No, here, paste. So what's the next thing? For key name, says we should copy and paste this. So we're going to do just that. And then what's the next thing we want to do? For instance profile, we are going to use the cafe role. So let's see how to reference instance profile. We're going to have it here. No. Find show file. Okay, we don't have instance profile in here. Let's search for it here. Show file. We don't have it in here either. Okay. I think I'm coming. I'm not checking well enough. It should be somewhere here. Uh-huh. Because I remember I saw it. Okay, so how many things did we open? No, this is what it's doing. And I finally found it. I don't know at what point we opened this one, but we found it anyways. So this is how you reference I mean this is how you set the IAM instance profile. What's it called? So where was we? Here. IAM instance profile. There's a mistake here because I accidentally copied a space before that. And then so we are specifying cafe role. If you have a specific what's it called that you're putting and not just a string, then you put it in this what's it called? Single quotation mark. All right, so now let's go back and see what else we've got to do. We've done the instance profile. So we already have the cafe IAM rule provisioned for us. So and by now, after plenty explanations, we should understand what rule does an IAM rule does. So I want to put this in the properties section. So parameters, resources, mappings, outputs. Let's properties again. This, mappings, resources, copy SG. Okay. In here. So we're using the properties section under the cafe instance. So to enter and then we put this network interfaces and I'm going to be adjusting this. Tab, awesome. So it is now it's not properly arranged. So this is going to be adding the network interface that we are going to be using with the instance. So so you can see it says that the previous lines help ensure that your instance deploys to the public subnet, and yes, of course. So it's going to be what's it called? It's going to be using the subnet ID, and then it is also going to ensure that the instance is going to be using the cafe security group that has already been defined in here. So now I want to create a tag. The tag is going to have the key of name and value of cafe web server. So it says we should observe how a name tag was applied to the security group resource. So we can see it here. So it means that we'll just look at this now and then we'll do it. So let me see. It's going to be 2 tabs in from this properties. So let me see. So this is this. So I'll just copy this anyways. Copy and then paste. Just adjust the would adjust the indentation. We'll have this way, and then the key inside, like so. Okay, so by the time we are running the validation, I am hoping that our indentations are very correct. So in the properties section, yeah, we are going to be having a user data. Again, by now you should understand what a user data is already. So don't copy complete studio. So copy, copy, and we are taking this to the properties tab still. So I'm going to paste this in here. And let's adjust the what's it called? I'm going to adjust the indentation. Good. So yep. Okay, and then tab. I'm using the tab key. I think I've mentioned that earlier. In case you're wondering, and you don't understand how that is. So I think that is it. So after we are satisfied with our template, we save changes and yes, the moment of truth. So I've saved changes and then we are going to run the validation and we are really, really hopeful that there's no problem. And even if there is a problem, anyways, it's all well and good. So we are going to see how we can do that. So let's clear this and then run this to validate our template. Enter. Okay, awesome. So it says line 46 column 7 is not well formed. So there's line 46 column 7. Line 46 column 7. Is this not where we're supposed to have the tag? Okay, I'm not going to stress myself too much. I'll just copy the whole of this to ChatGPT and ask it to make adjustments for me. But before then, let me see. I think I see what the problem is. So let's move this back one bit. Then it means that we've got to move this to back a bit as well. And then we've got to move the user data back a bit as well. And let's see if that works. Save. Remember to save before you run your validation again. Okay, well, null values are not allowed in templates. And it didn't state the line. Oh my God. Where do we have a null value? Now you're giving me headache, guys. I'm not doing it again. So just copy and we'll take this to my best friend. I think I have seen what the problem is. See, it says resources, cafe instance, and properties. So the problem is under properties here, cafe instance, and then properties. Look at it. All of these ones are not supposed to be here like so. So tap and they are moved in. So now let's save this and run the validation again. Oh my God, invalid template request property, network interfaces. What are you talking about, you this guy? God, I'm not too proficient with what's the English? But let's see. So is this not how this should be? So let's look at this again. Network interfaces. And is it not under properties? Okay, I think I see it again. Hey God. Anyway, Sha, this is still fine. Let's move this in. I'm not sure that's supposed to be on same line as properties. Let's save and see again. Ah, thank God, finally. So that was the mistake. So I'm just going to expand. And now we can see the JSON output. Okay, so the problem was I didn't look well because all of these ones are under properties and they're not supposed to be on same line. So I was saying, hey, I didn't know under properties. Yes, they're under properties, but I wasn't taking note of the indentation. All right, so now that we are done, blah 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 blah, something. Okay, yes, it says if we have any problem, we should correct it and then run the validation again. So now we need to run our git commands again. So if we do git, good. Where did the letter V come from? So if we do git status here, we'll see that the cafe app.yaml is currently not tracked. So we want to do git add. Why am I typing nonsense like so? Git add, then templates, show templates, then slash this one. But let me see, I'm trying to see something. Copy file path also. Let me see how well that is. You are a nonsense. What did I say? A big nonsense. So I don't need this. So you could copy the file path if you're not sure of how to write the file path. Well, I'm just going to remove this. What did I press? Oh my God. Recall. And then I'll just remove this. So what I need to do is git add templates, then cafe, something. So if I do git status now, okay, sorry, let's commit git commit -m. Then what's our commit message this time? Updated template with instance details. Now this video is very, very, very long. Then we do templates slash cafe app.yml. Normally, if I didn't have this nonsense templates one, even with it self, I could just do what's it called? I could do git add all. So instead of adding one by each like so, I'll just add everything and push everything and all of that. So let's do git push. So now we'll go back to our pipeline and then look at the cafe app pipeline. So remember that this is going to be triggered. So this succeeded just now. And this one is says didn't run. Okay, it's in progress, sorry. Let's hope that this works. Okay, I'm just going to pause this and come back when it gives an output. Okay, again, it did take a while, but thankfully it was successful. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to go to the CloudFormation template and confirm that this stack ran successfully. Go there and do that by yourself. Go to the EC2 console, and then we observe that the EC2 instance and security group resources were created. So I'll just come to the EC2 console because we're going to be needing it anyways. Now, we want to, okay, so I'm coming. Okay, this one is not created yet, so we just have to wait. What we want to do basically is we want to load the cafe app and see that it is working. So the instance is going to take a while to create because we have user data. Remember, when you have user data configured for your instance, it's going to take a little while because it's going to run whatever commands and all of those updates and patches that you want it to run at the start. So I'm going to go now and be back when the instance has been created. I honestly don't know what I'm saying because this is the instance anyways, the cafe S3. So come to Cloud9, look at the tag cafe S3. So this is it. And now it's not just running, but it has passed the status check. So would click this to see the details, and then we'll copy the public IP4 address. So I'll come here and say HTTP what's that? HTTP this, then this /cafe. So it's running, that's fine. Thank you and goodbye. Now something. So let's answer questions about the results of creating an application layer. So let's go to the parameters tab of the update cafe app stack. So I came to CloudFormation. This is the update cafe app stack, and this is the parameters tab. This is the parameters tab here. So for the latest AMI ID, where's our questions lesson? So the latest AMI ID says AMI HVM. This is it. So submit. The next questions, go to the stack info tab. Go to the stack info tab of the updates cafe app stack. What is the Amazon resource name of the IAM role that grants permission, blah, 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 blah. So come to stack info or come to IAM role. Where is it? IAM role. Custom CFN role. This is it. Submit. And then back. And then in the AWS management console, go to CodeCommit repo where your this. So where's the CodeCommit repo? You know? So this is it. We choose this one. And okay, sorry. I didn't do that. I promise. I didn't do that. So we'll come here to code commit to come to commits, and then you choose any of the commits. So let's see what we have there. So if you look at your commits, you are going to see details about lines that you added and the lines that you removed or anything like so. So basically, details including what lines of which files were changed and what the lines now contain. So that's basically it. Submit and then go back. So what else do we have to do? Because I'm tired already. Now, I want to duplicate the network and application resources in a second AWS region. Awesome. Ideally, if we were creating this things with the using the console, we would have to go to the new region and start to recreate these applications. We'll copy the ones that we can copy, bring snapshots, we'll bring them up and all of that. But now we can easily do this with what's it called? We can easily do this with CloudFormation, and it's going to be a lot easier because everything is defined. So as if cloud rather. Now we'll go back to our ID. Now we're going to run this. So we'll do this, and now we specified a region, and it's going to create all of these new ones in the region that we are specifying. Good. So we're done. We'll go to CloudFormation here. We'll change to US West 2. And we are going to see that we would have the cafe network stack because that's what we are duplicating. I'll close this. It's going to show this one because we're looking at a stack in the other region that is not in here. So you can say that this is in progress, and then it's going to complete very soon. What do we need to do? If we go to US West 2 on the VPC console, we are going to see the resources, but I'm not going because I'm very stubborn. So don't be bothered about this one, just close it. It's showing because you were looking at something that is not in here now. So create complete, awesome. Now we'll go to EC2 and create a key pair. So we have EC2 here. We'll come to where do we have key pairs here, and then we'll create key pair named Cafe Oregon. So this is the key pair that is going to be used by the instances that are created in this other region. Can you imagine? I didn't change this. So please remember to change your region before you create the key pair so that you are creating the key pair in the right region. So I'm going to paste this here now. And then I'm going to create. That's all. So it's going to download it as usual now. So it says that I should go and visit the application template details, but I'm not doing because I'm tired. Now in the Cloud9, copy the template file to an S3 bucket. In the following command, replace this with the actual S3 bucket name in your account. Something. So I'll go to S3 bucket. Remember, S3 is global, so you don't need to change any region or anything here. But I'm not even changing regions anyways. So want to copy what's it called? Want to copy the template file to an S3 bucket. So this S3 bucket has this repo bucket in its name, and it is this one here. I didn't mean to open you, my dear. No, I didn't mean to open. So I'll just copy it here anyways. Control C. And okay, I think I should have copied this first. Let's just copy from here. Copy. And then come down here. We would paste. And then I would copy this. Copy. And then paste. Remember to add this / at the end because it is here. And then you go enter. So that has been done. In the copy the object's URL. So we have opened the bucket anyways. So I'll just refresh. And this is what we just copied, the template. So it says to copy the object's URL. You click on this and then you do copy URL. You want to copy object's URL, not the S3 URL. So the URL for this object. In the CloudFormation, okay, we'll come to CloudFormation here. We are in the Oregon region. Now we want to create a stack. Come back to stacks, and then choose create stack with no resources, and then template is ready. In this case, we are going to be using an Amazon S3 URL. We paste this and then next. So stack name, I'll just say second stack. Put any name here. What else? Parameters, yes. So you can select from these three because we already set those in our template. So that's basically it. Now you're going to continue. Oh, sorry. I can't have space. So All right. Next. And then submit. So you should go to the okay, we'll wait for this to finish creating. Okay, complete. So we'll come to EC2 instances. And then we have the cafe SG. So it is initializing. So once that is done, we just, we try to access the cafe from here. Let's see if it will work without HTTP // cafe. Okay, it can't be reached because this instance is not done. So I'll just refresh and see the status check. It hasn't passed status check yet, so that's why we're not going to be able to access the what's it called? But we are done now anyways, and we should be able to submit already. So while that is going on, let's see if this will be done soon. Oh, it's taking forever. Okay, it's taking forever to pass the status check, but as you can see here, the score is just perfect, which means that we did everything properly already. So even if this does not get, if it does not respond and I choose to end the lab that way, it's still fine. So on this note, we're going to end it here. Thank you very much for sticking by. It's very, very long, and I hope you really did not watch on speed one, because even I wouldn't watch on speed one. Anyway, that's all. See you in the next one. Bye. Okay. It has gone. It has gone through, so let's just do this. All right, fine. And that is it. Bye.